All right. So we're going to do all of our stretching today. Most of it, actually, 90% of it from our chair. So if you don't have one, you can just sit on the floor or maybe a couch cushion, something, but it looks like everybody's in the chair. So just sit up nice and tall. Go ahead and scoot your butt all the way to the back of the chair and kind of just imprint your spine to the back of it the way that we would imprint our spines if we were on the floor. And I just want you to reach your arms up nice and tall and then roll your wrists around. You should go clockwise and counterclockwise. And then I want you to just kind of fold forward, and I want you to grab the legs of your chair, or the bottom of your chair if you can, and just kind of pull your chest to your thighs. And then go ahead and roll yourself back up, pressing your back against that chair. Sit on up. And bring those arms out by your sides and kind of just push them to the rear, pushing your chest open, letting your shoulders be like down and away from your ears, and then let your arms sink all the way down. And we're gonna do a complete rotation forwards. We're gonna roll our shoulder blades. We're trying to get them to touch in the front, and we're gonna reach up, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna push our hands back behind our backs, like our tricep almost hits the back of that chair. Keep pressing those arms open and back as far as you can get them until they roll all the way down. And we'll do one more. So inhaling those arms all the way up. Sorry, this is bothering me. I'm like tilted. There we go. So rolling those shoulders all the way forward. Make sure you're keeping your spine pressed against the back of that chair. So when we kind of lean back, you want that arch to happen, or your body lets that arch happen. What I want you to do is press that spine back into that chair and not letting that arch happen. And bring your hands around. All right, good. Okay, so now I want you to scoot forward on your chair, depending on the length of your chair. So I want you to be into a comfortable position. Take your heels and maybe spread them about 12 inches apart. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to roll forward onto our hips the way that we do on the floor. Or I always say, don't lean your arm or your body, like hunch it forward. So I want you to roll on top of those hips, and you're going to reach your fingertips to the floor, keeping your chin up and your back straight. So when you're leaning forward, you're kind of like this. So you're pressing your booty back the same way you would if you were standing, but your feet are about 2 feet apart. So you're feeling this already in your hip flexors. So do your best to keep that back straight. Try not to arch it or hunch your back in that manner, keeping your feet firmly pressed into the floor. And the goal is to get your fingertips to touch, but if you can get your hands flat, you can try that too. Now I know that we're just starting, so our bodies really aren't that loose or limber yet. So maybe just kind of pulse it, and then come out of it, and then put yourself back down into it. So remember, you're rolling forward on top of those hip bones instead of arching forward, with your goal being to get your fingers to touch, keeping your spine long and flat. So if someone wants to put a cup of water on your back, it wouldn't spill right now. And then again, if you're on your fingers, and try to flatten your hands. And then I want you to relax your neck and kind of hold this here, pressing your knees out to the side, but keeping both of your feet flat. And you should feel this again, right in that hip flexor area. And just breathe into it. And you can reset yourself as many times as you like, trying to get your body into this position, but force those knees open and those hips wide. Making sure that your feet are both flat on the floor, that you don't find yourself rising up into your heels. Then I want you to slowly roll it on up. You should feel a little tightness or a little soreness in those hips, letting you know that you are beginning to work them. And now I want you to take your feet and just kind of walk them out. So now you're wider than the distance of that chair, okay? So again, you don't want to be seated all the way back because you want some of your thigh to be hanging off the chair so that you have the mobility to lean forward. And I want you to turn your legs outward, your knees outward. So you walk your feet out. You can see that there's maybe like 2 or 3 inches between the base of the chair and my heels. And we're going to do the same stretch. What I want you to focus on not doing is letting your knees kind of twist in this manner. So you want to keep them open. You're going to take a deep breath in, and you're going to do the same stretch. You're going to lean forward. Again, chin is up, head is up. And right now you are focusing on those knees not coming forward. So you're pressing them open, reaching down towards the floor, keeping your spine long. So think about what's happening to your back. And then if you need to scoot your butt back a little bit to kind of make sure you don't fall forward off the chair, you can do that. But then again, make some adjustments. If you can drop your hands to the floor, but keep your chin up. I don't want any of those hunchbacks happening. And then you can come out of it and then come right back into it. But once you're down there, again, make sure that you're looking at your knees. Sometimes you physically have to look at it to make sure they're not rolling forward. So exhale into it. We're going to hold this here for about 25 seconds. Keep those knees pressed open. And where we rolled onto our hips, we didn't just fold at our backs. So we also feel this in our hip flexor. And every once in a while, check in on those knees. Even me, they start to come forward. And I want you to slowly roll it on up. And then inch those feet in. And kind of bring those knees and those thighs together. Give them some relief. Good, we're going to do that stretch one more time. And this time we're going to open up. So when we come down and I say stack your shoulders or we lift one hand up into the air, the idea is that if you were on your side, you would be a completely like a flat line. So stacking your shoulder means that they're right on top of each other. And you want to try to not let those hips roll under. So we're going to come in, we're going to turn our feet outwards. We're going to take a deep breath in and roll forward onto those hips so that we're pushing our hands down. And what I want you to do is open up so that your shoulders are stacked. So looking up at your fingers often helps. Now what I want you to focus on is reaching for something on that ceiling, but also trying to reach down through the floor. So your hands are going in opposite directions, but you are also pressing those knees open. So start thinking about your body. Almost retrace each step. Say right knee, make sure it's pressed back. Check on your left knee. Or is your right hand reaching up for the sky? Are you reaching for something on that ceiling? How about your left hand? Are you reaching down through the floor? And we're going to bring it down and switch it over to the other side. Now, for me, it's very apparent that I'm way tighter on this side, so I can't even get my arm to be stacked. I actually pulled a muscle yesterday trying to carry all of my groceries and potting soil in at one time from my car. And that is preventing me from opening up my arm a little bit. So I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to reset and I'm going to open it back up to see if I can go a little bit farther. Make sure you're checking on your knees. Breathing. And then bring it down. Inch those feet all the way in. Slowly roll it up. Come to a tall, seated position. And roll those shoulders back. So that may be a cautionary tale about taking more than one trip into your house. Okay. So coming to the edge of your chair, staying on the edge of your chair if that's where you are. You're going to extend your right leg forward. And I know that you can't see it, but my toe is pointed. So my foot is nice and flat. It's not on my heel. And I'm sitting up tall. And I'm actually physically pushing the front of my toes into the floor. And I can feel right in the front of my leg. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like pulsing hinging motions. So you're sitting up tall. I like to have my thumb and my fingertip kind of gripping that hip bone so that I know that I'm not hunching, that I'm using my hips to lean forward. And you're going to take your pointer finger and you're going to put it on your knee and just simply, you're going to just let that finger press on that like shin bone as you hinge forward. You're gonna let that finger trace all the way down. And your goal is to kind of go up through your middle toe. And then you're gonna come back the same way that you went down. And I want you to trace that. We're gonna do this for about 15 seconds. And I want you to focus on pressing those hips forward, keeping that spine long. And as you come up with that finger to that knee and that leg is straight, you're feeling that hamstring stretch right behind that knee. And your fingers actually kind of giving your shins a little massage where you're reaching forward. Do not bend that knee. Do not arch that back. Do not hunch forward. Nice, straight, and slow. And as you come up, pressing your heel into the floor, get that nice hamstring stretch. About 5 more seconds. And slow, pushing that leg, keeping it nice and straight. That hamstring, get what it deserves. Nice, good stretch. Pressing forward with your chest. Your chest should almost be hitting the opposite leg. And come up. Nice and slow. Good. All right, we're going to switch. Same thing. So just glide that foot forward. Toe is pointed. Remember, if you're just kind of like leaning forward and hunching, you're not going to feel it. So you have to make sure the shoulders are back, your spine is long, nice and flat. And as you are gliding that finger down, you should almost have your chest tapping the top of that thigh. So again, my forefinger, my thumb are holding onto my hip bone. My pointer finger is sliding down my shin. And I'm letting it go as far as my middle toe. If it doesn't let you go that far, where you start feeling that your form is being sacrificed or you're starting to hunch your back over, then don't go that far. But I want you to go so that you can feel it in the back of your knee. Feel it in that hamstring. Good. And your way up is just providing you a little bit of relief. It's that slow way down, pushing forward. And make sure that back is nice and straight, almost pushing your belly out. 10 more seconds. Good, and come up. Make sure you're keeping that spine nice and long. Good. Now I want you to put both legs out in front. What you are going to do, so my toes are pointed forward, so this is the position that my legs were in when we were doing it. I'm up tall, I was holding onto my hip bones, same thing. So now you're going to hinge forward, keeping your spine nice and long, flat, it's not bending. And you're gonna push until you feel the backs of your legs, they heat up, and you're gonna hold it to wherever it is. And I want you to try to grab the legs of your chair and hold yourself in this position here. So your spine is long, your neck and your head are kind of neutral, but your legs are straight. And let yourself pull the legs of those chair, keeping your body completely flat. Your back. And if you're doing it properly, you can almost feel it like sending tingling sensations down into your toes. And I want you to slowly come on up. We're gonna do it one more time. This time you're gonna reach for your toes. So again, pay attention to how flat I'm keeping my back. I'm letting my hands slide all the way down and reach. And then just push your belly button out to your thighs from here. Trying to keep your neck and your spine nice and neutral. Your legs stay straight as possible. You're pushing your toes into the floor. All right, and slowly start to roll it up. Good. All right. Now we are going to come off of our chair. We're going to come behind it. And I want you to back up. Your feet are the same width as the chair apart. And I want you to back up so that your arms are extended, but you're not like reaching, but you're far enough here. And what we're gonna do is we're just going to pressing our butts back. So we're gonna like obnoxiously turn them out, and we're gonna push our butt back. And I just want you to kind of push, and then I want you to come on up. So we're gonna pull in our hips here, and then we're gonna push our hips out here. And we're gonna do it for about 10 to 15 seconds. So you're pulling in, and as you're pushing away, and you're gonna feel this in your glutes, pushing out, hamstrings, hips, calves. Make sure you're pressing evenly through the base of your feet, extending that body. Good. And then I want you to take maybe a half a step back. So now you should be kind of at like an arch. Shouldn't be at a full lean, but enough so, because what's next is we're going to take our hands to the sides and we're going to make our body into a 90-degree angle. So now what we're going to do is we're going to feel it in our backs and the sides of our arms and our chest, and we're pushing our chest to the floor. We're letting our biceps squeeze up by our ears. You're letting that chair kind of give you that extra push. You're pushing your butt to the rear, your legs are straight. So you should feel this in your armpit, your upper back, your chest, the backs of your legs. And push those palms into the chair and try to just get your head to come through, but also squeeze your biceps towards your ears. And just breathe into the stretch. And I want you to slowly roll it on up. And we're going to do it again, okay? I really want you to try, so maybe back your feet up a little bit more. You're going to press your butt back, and you're going to let your body sink through, pushing your chest towards the floor, armpits towards the floor. Your feet are flat. Your legs are straight, your head is nice and relaxed. And then bring it on up. And walk your feet in. Come to the other side of that chair. And what we're going to do is the same thing now, but you have a lower base for your arms. So take your feet and make sure that they are 2 feet apart and right at the base of those legs. You're going to back it up. And then the same thing now, okay? So you're a little lower. So pressing your butt back. You should feel more so in your hamstrings, but you just heated up those muscles and those tendons. You're feeling a little bit more flexible. Make sure you're pressing your chest down to the floor. And I want you to walk your hands to the middle of that chair. And then I want you to cross them over. So one hand is over the other, and I want you to feel the upper back stretch. So you're still pressing your butt to the rear. Your legs are still straight. And then I want you to slowly come on out of it and come down to your knees. On that nice kneeling position, extend your hands or your fingertips to the edge of that chair or as back as far as you can go. And we're going to do almost like mocking the same exact stretch. Now you're going to sink your butt back and your arms are going to be on your chair. And I just want you to grab a hold of it so your arms don't slide across. And I want you to push that chest forward. So what we're doing is we're really still focusing on that upper back area, our lats, our chest. You're pushing your butt to your heels, almost like you were in child's pose. And with every exhale, you're pushing your chest a little bit more forward. And this is giving you that shoulder mobility, being able to kind of reach around and scratch our backs if we need to in that awkward position. And then lift your hands up off of the chair, pressing through your forearms. Drive that chest to the floor. And then slowly rise it on up. Okay. Have a seat. Have a seat back into that chair. Sorry, my alarm is going off all the time. And pick up your band. So you're going to, my chair weighs 100 pounds. One leg is going to kind of come off the side of the chair. It doesn't need to be on the floor, but one leg is secured on, one leg is off. Whatever you have, I just wanted you to be able to hold your body, your arms back in this position. So I'm straighten myself out here. So you're off a little bit. Now my leg, my foot here, it's not relaxed. It's holding my body in place. My arms are up. I'm going to flatten that front foot and I'm going to lean my body forward. So I'm pressing through my front heel. I'm letting my arms kind of come back with the natural weight of gravity. I'm stretching the back of my leg out straight so I feel this in my calf muscles. I'm trying to drive my heel down, all while trying to grab or drive my chest to that front thigh, okay? So my heel is pressing down on the front, digging through, pushing down. I'm also letting my arms just kind of be heavy and hang back with this band, is holding onto it. I'm driving my heel down in the rear, feeling this in my calf. My spine is long, I'm not hunching shoulders. Just focus on your breath, keeping your spine nice and long. And I want you to slowly come on up and bring those arms in. We're gonna do that one more time. So you really should be feeling like your entire chest cavity is opening up. So maybe if you wanna shorten the grip on your band, you get more of a deeper stretch. The wider your arms are on that strap or whatever it is you're using, it's going to be a little bit easier. So you just adjust to where you need. Remember, when we go into it and you're kicking that leg back, your back heel is trying to press down into the carpet and your front heel is actually pressing down. So big, deep breath in, lifting up those arms, letting gravity kind of take it back to where you feel maybe it's discomfort, but it's not pain. And you're pushing your chest towards the leg that is bent. Focus on digging through that front heel, pressing that back heel down to the ground. Leading with your chest, no hunchbacks. Just hold it. All right, good. And then come on up. You can just put that band right by your side. So we're going to switch to the other side in one moment. But I want you to extend that back leg is now out to your side. So the front foot didn't move, that back leg just came side. And I just want you to kind of slide your hand down and reach that arm up and over. Good. So it's like we're on the floor in that kneeling position and I have you reach over. That's all. I just wanted to kind of counter that stretch with you. All right, let's switch to the other side. Same thing. We're all still feeling okay? All right, so that leg is back. The opposite one. Getting yourself comfortable. One side might feel a little tight now because you've been stretching the other. But we're gonna make them equals. So bring those arms up, kicking that back foot to where you feel comfortable. We don't want you falling off the chair. Planting that front foot in, let those arms come back and lean forward. Remember, you're pressing that back heel down, and you, again, will notice that one side is way more flexible than the other. And I think last week, or the end of 2 weeks ago, I mentioned unilateral movements. So just making sure that you are focusing on each limb individually. Again, pressing through that heel, drive the back heel down, and your front one is actually physically down. Bringing that chest to your thigh and letting your arms sink back. And come on up and bring it in. One more. So the same thing, as like one muscle is stronger than the other, we will definitely have one side that's more flexible than the other. Just kind of be aware of that. Let's go for stretch number 2, pressing through your heel. Check your form. Look at yourself in a mirror or on the camera. Again, pressing the chest down, letting those arms come back. Make sure your knee in the front isn't coming forward or rolling inwards. Just keep it nice and neutral. Pressing down with your heel, front and the back. All right, and then come on forward. Put that band by your side. And again, like we did the other side, you're gonna bring that leg right out to the side of you, keeping that front foot there. And you're gonna reach over and stretch. Good, and come on back up. All right, the last thing that we are going to do this morning, so you can keep your chair the way it is or however you need to be, but we're going to come to a kneeling position. And however, I hope you're not in like a bar stool, but you're going to lift your leg up and over onto that chair if you can. So make sure it's not going to slide, but you're on your knee and it's a neutral, comfortable position. This leg is up. You can't see my foot, but it's just nice and relaxed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my foot. You can see it kind of creeping out the other end. And I'm going to do my best to push my hips down right here into the floor while pulling this chair towards me. So I'm reaching for both ends. Now you can grab here, you can grab up here, you can grab the bottoms, but I want you to pull those hip flexors down like we're trying to do a split against our chair. Okay, so eyes forward, pull those legs down and in. I guess what I could do is show you guys. This side. All right, so I'm pulling and I'm driving my hips in. And now I'm going to take that back knee, I'm going to inch it towards the rear because I have this chair to kind of help me and hold on to. And I'm coming forward and holding here. Pressing those hips forward. And again, if the chair is too much, you can do this from the floor. And just breathe, breathing into it. Come on out of it. Nice and slow, and we'll do the other side. So when you come out of it, you might feel a little, it's like tight or sore right under that butt cheek area. That's okay. All right, so shimmy the other leg, bring it on up, come to where you're comfortable. Make sure your foot and your knees are where that you're not gonna roll to the side and where it's comfortable for you. And I'm gonna take my hands, I'm gonna reach for that chair, and I'm gonna use my upper body strength to pull my hips in, but I'm not arching, I'm rolling those hips under, and you feel that difference almost immediately. Good. And breathe into it. Every time you exhale, push that chest a little closer. And then when you are feeling like you want to take risks, go ahead and shimmy that back knee away from that chair a little bit more. Out of it for 1 second. And we're going to push back down. We're going to hold it for about 15 to 20. And then you're free to enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day. Again, remember, you want to roll those hips forward, not your back. It should feel slightly discomfortable or uncomfortable right now. Good. Whenever we do like split stretches, it really makes me break a sweat. And I want you to slowly bring that leg off of that chair because your body might feel a little tight, a little shaky. And I just want you to relax, okay? So we're gonna just kind of undo what we just did. So I want you to, you wanna hold on to the chair. I want you to just kind of like press your hips forward and away. My hips always pop, they feel a little tight. And go ahead and press into the rear, sink down. Lots of popping and cracking going on over here. And then come back up. And then come to a standing position and kind of do the same thing. So when we do like our hip rotating stretch, whenever I say like hitting all four corners, I just think of like four corners of like a map, I guess, north, south, east, west-ish. You're just gonna kind of hit those hot spots and you'll notice they'll crack and pop. That's totally okay. Doesn't mean you're broken. All right, bring those feet together. One, lean forward, let your arms kind of hang down. And we're gonna do a reverse breath. So from here, go ahead and inhale those arms up. And exhale. All right, great job, ladies. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. Bye.